I see what everybody's seen and asking myself, what the hell is going on? I mean, look like a third world country.
I have to give credit where credit's due. Governor Newsom is right. California does look like a third world country. Not an exaggeration. Here's what's happening on their streets every day.
I want to say this is like 6 TVs already.
I want to remind you, that's California. That's not war-torn Cambodia. So why are politicians tolerating the destruction of an American city and civilization? Or is this just part of a plan we don't know about? Here now, the great one, Mark Levin, host of Life, Liberty, and Levin, and author of American Marxism. So you talked about this in American Marxism. Do you believe that what they're doing to California by just destroying it with methed out, naked maniacs lighting things on fire, they're doing that on purpose? Is that what's happening?
Well, Jesse, I could be wrong about this, but I could have sworn one of those guys running around there was Eric Swalwell, but I could be wrong. Nonetheless, look, when you have mayor after mayor in L.A., but places like San Francisco, I was there a few months ago, it's no different there. Any of these major cities, mayor after mayor that tolerates this sort of thing, that decriminalizes even minor offenses, that don't believe in putting people in jail. When your prosecutors are elected, who prosecute certain people who are committing very minor offenses, but then allow other people to go who are committing, offenses of moral turpitude and so forth, this is what you get. Now, how do you fix this? Well, the Democrat Party's ideology is obviously bad for America, whether it's the borders, whether it's our finances, whether it is matters of peace and war, and whether it is running our cities. They don't know how to run our cities. All they know how to do is shuffle paper and redistribute wealth, spend money and spend it poorly, and build things that people don't need. They don't know how to create wealth, jobs, opportunity, how to secure their neighborhoods. So if you want a third world, vote for the Democrats, because their ideology imitates third world ideology. When Ronald Reagan was governor of California, none of that crap would be going on in L.A. or any place else for that matter. When they were trying to take over the college campuses, he sent in the National Guard, among others, and put it down. That is what you need. You need governors like Reagan. You need a governor like DeSantis, a governor like Abbott. These things aren't happening in cities like that. And for the governor of California to stand there and say, what's going on here? This is like the third world. My God, what is he, a buffoon? He's going on there. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's like being in your own house and having it all just filled with trash, homeless people, and drugs, and say, what's going on? I mean, you live there. Mm-hmm. It's your job to know what's going on and to change it. I want to tell you about Al Franken. We flagged this today. I don't know where this guy's been since he got Me Too'd, but he says if Biden doesn't do this mass mailing of ballots again and he doesn't get rid of voter ID laws, Trump's going to win next election, and it all feels like Nazi Germany. Listen.
This is a serious one, and I think other people are feeling it. It feels like, I don't know, 1933, 34 Germany, and I'm just like, I don't know, in a tavern, and I look over the other table, and there's guys in black jack boots and Nazi uniforms, and I'm going like, this looks bad. I wonder how bad it can get.
All right, you're a Jewish American. Al Franken's a Jewish American. If you saw him, what would you tell him?
Sounds like he's been drinking. I don't know that for a fact, but he's slurring his speech. Maybe he always does that these days. I don't know. I tell him, to quote Joe Biden, you're a stupid son of a bitch. Now, what do I mean by that? There are people watching this program, some of whom survived the Holocaust, some of whom have had parents in the Holocaust. You go to one of these concentration camps, I don't think you'd be saying what Al Franken's saying. Why? Because the Democrat Party controls all aspects of this government and it doesn't get everything at once. They talk about voting rights. It's not about voting rights. You have a right to vote, but you don't have a right to vote while you're watching TV or while you're in the kitchen or while you're driving your car or whatever. You have a right to vote by getting off your backside and going in and voting and proving you are who you are. You know, just pretend they're vaccine passports or something like that. But the Democrat Party wants to fundamentally transform this country, and the American people have said no, they don't want it. The idea that he would compare this to Nazism, we're getting so far away from our history. Let me tell you, last week was the 80th anniversary, Jesse, of 1942, when the head Nazis got together to plan the final solution. Last week. How many television news shows even mentioned it? None.
Nope.
That I'm aware of. 80 years ago, last week, the final solution. How do we kill more Jews? How do we kill them faster? They came up with the gas chambers. They were approved. It was a 90-minute meeting. And I don't remember Al Franken commenting on that. I don't remember a day of remembrance on the floor of the Congress on that. And I don't remember all these news hosts mentioning that. So I'll mention it now.
Well, you know, maybe he was hammered because Psaki said to have a margarita if you were angry. So we don't know what he was drinking. The great one, Mark Levin, thank you so much for coming on Primetime.